Hello, guys. This is Jaya for the session of digitalization. So today we are going to discuss about the different aspects and what is the importance of this digital tool in our online business module with the interesting case study. So we start with the first slide, which is about a scenario where there are two friends and both are working in a business tours and traveling, where Bob is earning less, whereas David is earning more. What is the reason behind in this scenario? The reason behind between these two is Bob is using the traditional way of doing the work, whereas David is using the digital tool. So Bob is taking the physical work where he is collecting all the complaints, query, requests from the customer in a physical manner, where it is taking a lot of time to complete the request of the customers, and the customers are not ready to wait for that much of time. And that is why he's not getting more business and he's just struggling to get his business to run smooth. On the other hand, David is doing a digital method where he is keeping all the data, all the complaints, all the requests, even all the bookings are done on an online platform, and he is giving instant resolution to the consumers. And this is what the consumers are happy because they are not wasting their time. They are getting a lot of things to do in that spare time also. So that's the reason David is getting more and more business, and David is keeping his customers happy with his instant resolution for their services. That's the reason David's business is flourishing day by day. So now we'll be seeing in the next slide what is actual difference between the traditional method versus digital method. In a traditional method, there is more manpower is used, more time consumption is involved. It is a very high costing, very slow processing, and the chance of the errors is very high. Whereas in a digital method, there is less manpower is used, less time consumption is involved, a very low costing is there, but there is a faster processing and more accuracy. That is in today's digital age, the people are looking these points which are really beneficial because it is both compatible for the business owners as well as for the consumers, because nowadays the consumers doesn't want to wait that much time to get his services to be done. So, and on the other hand, the business owners are trying to make that path or a app or a website to be more efficient for the consumers. That is why we all use the digital method on the business module nowadays. Second slide comes around the definition of the digitalization. So when we are talking about the digitalization, so what does it come in mind? So the main thing which comes in mind that there are four different type of pillars which comprises of digitalization. So first is the technology, second would be the data, third would be the process, and fourth would be the organizational change. So how would you describe these four pillars to define digitalization? So first point would be the technology. The technology for the website or the app can create or modify it so that it makes the technology transparent and effective for the consumers as well as for the business owners who are running the business module online. Second comes the data. When you are running an online business, there are almost a good amount of data according to your product, according to your brand. So you can understand when you compile that entire data, then you come to know where your product or a brand is standing in today's market situation. Third comes the process automation. So, process automation simplifies the complexity of the business activity so that it becomes more convenient, more easy, more transparent, and more effective for the consumers. That is why the automation process is always used in a digital tool. Last but not the least, the organizational change. When we are talking about the organizational change, it comprises of when the consumer have a good demands regarding your product, regarding your brand, regarding your company. So these demands need to be fulfilled by the business owners. So how he will fill it, that is the main point. And for this fulfilling, he has to make some changes in his organization and has to improvise his brand and a product so that he can come up to the mark of the demand of the consumer. That is the entire thing when we are talking about the digitalization, and this is how we define it. So by these four pillars, it makes the proper definition of the digitalization in today's world in the business module. Next slide comes about what is the importance of digital tool in the business world. So the first point, there are actually the three main points when we are discussing about the importance of digitalization. So the first point which comes that digitalization increases the efficiency and the transparency in the business module when it is running smooth. So that is what the consumers require whenever they're using the website or an app for the particular brand or a company. It should be good, it should be friendly to use, and it should not be any errors while the consumer is using the website or an app. So that is why when digital tool is over there, it normally increases the efficiency for the website through the technology, or you can say that it can making transparent by those four pillars so that the consumer should not have any difficulty while surfing the particular website. Second comes that when all the data is kept in an online platform, it is really secure. So, why the question comes how it is secured? Why? Because when you keep all the documents over in that particular online platform, it is saved, it is secure. And if it is stolen or some disasters happen to your laptop or it is a loss of some data, you can still retrieve those data, you can fix those errors in the system. But when you're talking about the traditional field, these factors doesn't commit and you have to start it from the scratch and to make the whole document again, and that is the reason the time is consumed in that particular data. So that's the reason why digital tool is really important to keeping all the data secured in an online platform. Then the last point which comes around is the retention of the customer. So how do we retain those customers? By giving a proactive service for their brand or the company for which they have a complaint, the query, or this request for it. And if you help that customer easily, that customer will return to your website for your repeat purchases and even recommend your website for the same to other people. In this way, two things will happen: your business will increase, and secondly, your customer base will be increased. That is the reason why digital tool is really important for the business growth. Now, the second slide comprises of examples. So there are many examples when I'm talking about digitalization. The simple example I can talk about is a scanning of a particular document or a photograph or anything which is preserved in a digital way where we can use it anywhere whenever it is required to submit our documents or to show when we are going to an airport, and we can show these documents as a scan image on our phone even. So that's the reason it's a really easy. We don't have to carry that hard paper with us, and there are the chances that it can be lost somewhere. So if you're keeping on a laptop or if you're keeping on a mobile, it becomes a preservation and you can use it time by time when it is required. That's the reason digital tool is really important for smaller things as well as for the bigger things, for scanning purposes, for filling up the forms, to give a digital signature, to go for an admission, to go for an in virtual interview. These are all the examples which we could think about when we are using digitalization tool in the business module nowadays. Now, this second slide comprises of the advantages of digitalization. So when we are talking about digitalization advantages, the first point comes in a mind, that is time saving. So how it is time saving when we are searching about a particular product or a particular brand or something, we can do it on a laptop. We are not going here and there to search for it. We're just sitting on a laptop, whether we are in home or whether we are in office, we are saving our time. Second point comes around a cost saving. So how do we do the cost saving? When you are sitting at a home and office and you are not traveling from one place to another, that means you are doing a cost saving in that case. So your money is saved, but your time is also utilized, and you are not wasting your time in searching the place here and there. You're going to from one place to another. So these 2 points are really important for the consumers when they are looking for a particular brand or a company. Third point comprises of the accuracy. When we are talking about the accuracy, it comes like in that fashion that when you are surfing the website or you are doing something, that makes a really important when you are talking about it, that the website should doesn't have any errors. It should be very transparent, it should be effective for the consumers, because the consumer doesn't want to be very complexity in the website or an app. So that is it maintained by the digital tool, the accuracy in the website for the business owners. Now, the second point comes about the easy distribution. When we are talking about an easy distribution, it comes around in this fashion that you can distribute easily the information about your brand, about your company, about your product in a social media pages, but in a traditional way, it is really not easy to do it. Why? Because in a traditional way of method, you have to print the pamphlet, you have to go through door to door to get that information to be delivered. But when you're doing in a social media pages, you are grabbing many more attention of the consumer towards your product, towards your brand, towards your company. Secured, the next point, which I have already explained, that docs are really secured when you're using this digital tool in your business module, because it can be retrieved, it can be fixed, but in a traditional way, it cannot be fixed. Last point, which comes around for the advantages of the digitalization, is the increase in profits. That's what I have explained in the last slide. When you proactively service the consumers for the complaint, query, request, whatever the consumers is asking for, if you're helping with the proactive nature, they will definitely come back and will make your business very smooth and running. So that is what comprises the advantages of digitalization for your business growth. So this is the users you can tell. You can also know about this as the actual benefit while using this digital tool in your online business platform. Now, this last slide comprises of the case study, which comprises of a QR code while we are using in an online business. So today's case study is depending upon the event, the online event system, which I'm going to discuss about, which is really interesting, who are all in the business of event organizer. So this is a QR code which simplifies your business and which engage your attendees, make it very fruitful for the entire event. So there are some points when we are going to discuss about this case study. So you all know QR code is just a picture. I'm not selling it, or I'm not saying that it should be used. I'm just saying what are the uses, what are the benefit if you enhance that in your business. That makes your work much more easier for both the consumers as well as for you business people. So I would be just a second. So when we are talking about the events, so what does it come in your mind first? What is an event QR code? When we talk about this event QR code, you have a simple idea that event QR code is scanned via smartphone, where it takes the end user to the mobile, from the mobile to the landing page, where it has all the details regarding the event, regarding the venue, regarding the banner, regarding the images, each and every detail of the event when you scan that QR code for the event. So this is a simple question when you're talking about this part. Okay, what is an event QR code? It's a really simple, it's just an image, but when you scan it, you'll get the entire details of that particular event. What are the activities are going on, where it is situated, what is the description of that particular event. So this is the first question, which comprises of the event QR code. Now my question is comes that there are two types of QR code which is used in the event. So according to me, the first is the static, second is the dynamic. So when we are talking about static QR code only remains static, where you can't edit any information in it. In the QR code, if you want to put about something, additional information about the event, about any activity, or any information, but it cannot be uh, you can say updated. It will be remain whatever you have feed it. It's a one time affair for that static QR code. But in a dynamic, if you use a dynamic QR code in the event, that would be really easy, because you can edit the information what you want to add images, or you want to modify something, you can do in that particular. So I would suggest whoever are doing this event organization event, so they can use the dynamic QR code for themselves, and that would be really easy to make it happen. Now my third question with this event organization, if I talk about, is, can event QR code is really useful? How it is useful, that is a question comes to your mind. So, first point which I think about the event QR code would be to share that multimedia content with your guest. Say, that means when you share, when the QR code in that particular event, and when the person, the consumer or the attendee scan it, you can share them with the multimedia image or a content, but not more than that. You can approximately 2 to 3 images, so that they can get a clear picture about what is the event is all about, and what the images describe to that particular event, because the images always describe many things when the attendee scans it. So these two main things are there. When the attendees scan it through their mobile phone, they can get the content and as well as the image for that particular event. Second comes the point, when you in the banner or wherever the person scans that on an event, the second point, you can attach the map location into your QR code. Why? Because the attendees, it becomes useful for the attendees. for to come to that particular location where this event is happening, and the people doesn't want to waste the time in searching for the place where it is happening, where it is going. And they don't have to travel here and there. They can pinpoint the location. They can get that location on a QR code, and they can do it on a Google map, so that he or she can reach the event on timely, and he can enjoy that particular event. Third is to Third point is what I think is to add the calendar for the event to the guest smartphone. So how would you do that? If you do that calendar, if you the event QR code is there, the dynamic event QR code, if they scan it, your guests have the option, they get an option to add this event in the calendar in their smartphones. So that becomes an easy, that gives a reminder that they have to go to this particular event. So this is also an important usage of the event QR code, means who are people are into this particular business, so they can use these points to make it more fruitful for the attendees, as well as to grow his business. Second, in a QR code, event QR code can have a depth of the event description. So, how can it be done? So, it can be some way, it is think that it is very impractical to give the depth of that particular description. But when we are trying this dynamic QR code in this event, so you can add as much content for that event. You can give a list of speakers who are in that particular event. That is a profession. And if you're doing for the domestic, you can add as much concern, how many shops are there, what are the shops containing. So these all about the event and organization. You can put all the comments, each and every content in that dynamic QR code for the event. So that is why I would always suggest the people who are the event organizer can use this as a part of event marketing also, and as well as for the content to attend the attention of the many people. Now, the second point which comes to my mind is how to make your guests to share this event on the social media pages. You all have this point when, because nowadays the social media is really important while doing this. So when we think about it, so these social media, you can, when you are putting this QR code on the flyers or the banners or anywhere, so when the attendees come to your store or they are coming to the event or something, they can scan it, and they, as soon as they scan it, you can just need to do that. This QR code should be linked to your social media pages. So as soon the attendees scan it, is the landing page should be in your social media pages, so that it makes a lot of information goes to your social media that this event is happening. This is help to increase your guest. So that is the reason we always request who are the people who are into this particular business, they can link their event QR code to the social media, because it's really important to increase the number of their guests for their event. Second point which that comes into my mind, that is QR code for seamless check-in. So when we are talking about this, so everybody wants a contactless check-in. Nobody wants to stand in a queue, get the tickets, and then move into the event. Everybody wants that, okay, we'll scan the ticket, or we can bring the ticket online. That is a one point of contact. Second, they can even scan it and do the registration on their smartphones. That is would be much easier, that when they do it, they can easily have a landing page for the registration, and it is done with a few minutes. So that is what the people always wanted, not to stand in a queue, and it should be very effortless when they are entering in an event through this particular event QR code. And the attendance will be very happy, because if the app is friendly, it's useful, the person will come back again and again to your event whenever you are organizing it to the particular city or anywhere. Now, there are points that there are innovative ways while using this event QR code. So, according to me, it is like there are PDF QR code. When you are having this QR code, you can attach a PDF regarding your event information, according what is happening in the event, what is the area, what is the content, what is description, and who are the people are attending. You can all jot down in a PDF, and you can attach in that particular event QR code. So that makes it a bit easier before going that event. The attendees can get a clear picture about that event, that okay, this is the event is all about, and whether, and there are, means you can add as much content as you want. Secondly, you can add videos through this, because that is a more interesting, that when the people scan it, so they get the videos, they get the promotionals. So this is how you can engage your attendees with it, because many people like it, that okay, there is a video, and they will try to see it, they will understand what is of the event about. That would be a bit more easier to engage, because every person now wants that it should be a quick resolution. They can get a video through a event QR code. That would be much easier for them to understand what is the event actual about. So my last point would be, uh, which all you will agree, the customer feedback. You all know, whoever is in a business, whether it is a tours and travel, whether it is an event, whether it is in a library system, whether it is anywhere, everybody wants a customer feedback for their online platform, for their events. So how do you do it? That is a question comes around in your mind, that how can we do it? So when the person scans that particular event, so you can get one point in this, that when it scans, it goes there, and when the event is finished, you can provide that survey form in the form of Google form, which is nowadays widely used to get that feedback of the consumer, to know about how the people like it. So you always, whenever you are organizing an event, this form should always be there, that the person should, after finishing that particular event, they can give you the review, or they can give your feedback or experience, how they had when they have went into that particular event. So that requires that Google form gives you all the designs. It tries to give, it gives you more interactive, so you can get more and more engagement when you are trying with that feedback to improvise your event for the future dates. So that is how you understand, when you get a feedback from the consumers, and you can understand the concept about this feedback. You can understand where you have to improvise, where you have to make changes in your event when you're organizing in the next time. So that's the reason the feedback is really important in whatever business you're doing, whether it is small business or big business. But feedback is really, really important when you are doing the businesses on an online platform. So my suggestions would be, or takeaway points which I discuss till now, it's to share the multimedia content through event QR code, the map location, even the calendar you can add, then the event description through the QR code, share the event in a social media pages. That is an important point, and the seamless checking, and the last point would be the PDF and the Google form. Should these, if these factors are available when you're organizing your event, your business will be good, and you will get more and more attendees for the same. So this is the case study about the events. Now I'm going to tell about that. I'm representing the just a second. I'm representing the company from UX Living Lab, where we work mainly about from the feedback of the consumers. We mainly try to get your business running through the consumer feedback, this insights of the consumers through only this feedback QR code, which we are doing. And this is how we understand where your brand is standing, where your company is standing to this particular market situation. So we will try to help to grow your business through this feedback so that you can improvise, you make changes, modification with your brand or company to make your business smooth and running, and it should be get friendly to the consumer. So what we do, we try to get in touch with the consumers and try to get more and more feedback, more and more insights about it, and then we develop an analytical report and we used to give them through to you through a mail. Then you can have a clear picture that how it is going through your business, what is your product standing in the market situation. So this is how we work on through a simple QR code. And for this you have to only use your name and email ID to create a unique QR code for your self as well as for the in business. So what I wanted to tell you that if you want any information about a company or how it works, what are my products, you can just, you want to discuss with it or you want to have an interaction with us regarding anything, any issue, or you want to understand how it works, you can just need the calendar link which I'll be providing to you, and you just make an appointment with us and we'll try to make you understand how our product works, how we work in our organization. We will try to make we'll try to give you a strategy. We can innovate the ideas. We can help you in such a way so that you can grow your business more and more, and you can satisfy your customer more than even. So that is what we do. So I'll be giving you that link, as well as I'll give you the link for my website itself. You can go through it, and if you still don't understand or you have some doubt or anything, you can just contact me with the Facebook comment section, and you can tell me uh, what you did not understand, or if you want any other knowledge about it. I'm ready to help, because for me the customer satisfaction is much more, because it makes happy when you serve the customer and the customer is happy with your service. So that is what the entire our company works on it, and the customers are really important for every business, whatever the business the persons are doing. So this is what we are doing. So if you wanted to know more about it, just have a appointment with us so that we can explain the entire thing with you. So this is our session for today. I hope you like the session. And if you have any other suggestion regarding that the topic I should represent to you, you want a knowledge about the certain topic, just let me know so that I can try to provide the more and more insight with the case study, so that you can have a clear picture for whatever the topic you require the information. So I would be requesting you, please provide suggestion, whatever the topic you want me to present to you guys. Thank you for joining us for this session.